What's happening, everybody? It is hump day. Let's get the humping. Be prepared. Let's start humping, huh? We're halfway through the week. So that's good. Welcome to Film Junkee Live. It is, of course, August 20th. Now, this year's just kind of flown right by, right? Hit that like, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Become a member if you want to support the channel. We do a members-only stream after every Wednesday show. Hopefully it works. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, because, I mean, it kind of worked. You could still hear my audio, but the video was all choppy and weird, so not sure exactly what happened, but we'll try again. And then, of course, hey, there's DC Fandom Minute tonight. If you want to hear Scott and I talk about Batman Beyond, that's going to be in 2 hours as well. So plenty of streaming tonight on the Film Junkee Network. All right, guys, who's out there? Good to see you there, Arkham Knights. Great to see ya. What up, Mr. Axel? Just finished 3D printing a guy? Axel, did you 3D print a guy? That's crazy. I meant prop for an upcoming project, and I'm going to Melbourne next week for a vacation. That's cool. You're gonna take your 3D printed guy with you? Just kidding. I know what you mean. A pew pew pew. That's cool, man. 3D printing is interesting. What's going on, Clone Avenger? Good to see ya. Always great to see ya. We got D-Man. Hello, children. Zach playing 5 films. Guess Gunn is playing it safe with 4. Yeah, well, we'll talk about that, of course. That'll be one of the topics, the main topic. Naturally, what's going on versus Seed? Good to see ya. We got Mr. Fear Jason. What is happening? Yeah, you know what? I didn't have time. My work's been kicking my ass this week because I've been wrapping up a project at work, so I just totally spaced and went, oh crap, I meant to watch the latest Alien Earth, because I've enjoyed the first 2 episodes, thought they were great, and of course the new episode. So I didn't watch it, or else I would probably be given I'll be giving a review, of course, but not happening today. But it's okay, we got other things to talk about, but I'll talk about Alien Earth. We'll talk about Alien Earth on the Vodka stream on Friday, so somehow we'll get those 4 Superman projects before getting... Oh, no, there's no truer things were said there versus Seed. What's going on, Les Carpenter? What's happening? We got Tim Diaz. Good to see you too, man. All right, great to see you. Let's see what else we have. Hey, we got Dell in the city. Always great to see you, Dell. Good to see you, bud. Do I need to watch You don't really need to watch the other ones. I don't feel like you do. I mean, it helps, but it's not like... I mean, if you just know the basic concept, I mean, it's... If you know about the xenomorphs, you know about the face huggers, they introduce other creatures in this thing. If you know about synthetics, the androids, now they added another element to when it comes to synthetic beings. I would say, long as you know, if you've seen the first one and maybe the second one, there's not much homework. Not much homework. They're not referencing Romulus or Prometheus, anything like that, at least as far as I could tell right now. You just got to know that it's in the future. There's these face huggers that impregnate, an alien creature, xenomorph comes out. And there are ships out there that went to go retrieve some of this stuff, and one came back and crashed on Earth and has not just face huggers on it. That's basically it. I don't know. So, I don't feel like you need to too much. But anyways, guys, thank you for spending some time with me. And make sure, again, subscribe, hit that like, thumbs up. Hopefully, you guys have a good couple of days. It's been hot here in SoCal, so... Alien Earth. What's going on, Samir? Alien Earth's been, it's been pretty great. It's been pretty great from what I've seen. All right, guys, let's get started. And hey, guys, okay, well, it's Wine Wednesday, first off. Cheers. Cheers, guys. Wine, you're not really supposed to put red wine in the refrigerator, but, since it's hot, it does taste good cold. It does. It tastes good warm, too, but... Anyways, I got my red wine right there. But you guys know I'm a vodka guy, obviously. Vodka stream. You guys know I'm very much a vodka guy. So let's start off the tweets with a meme that says, you call it vodka, I call it potato juice. That's right. Because if you guys know, that's where it's all derived from. That's where vodka's derived from when they're mixing it. I had to look at that process. I want to see that process. But obviously, they use potatoes to do that. Hey, what's happening? Okay, all right. So, Clone Adventure, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. So, welcome to the membership, Tim, Daniel, Kamal, Monkey Jeebus, and RJ. What's happening, guys? Good to see ya. And then, of course, we have Real Anarchy right here. Mr. Ben, what is happening? Here to Wine Wednesday, sir. Cheers to you, brother. Cheers to you. Cheers to your... Ben had a fucking viral tweet happen. I was like, when I saw you like kind of reposted or added to it, I was like, holy shit. Yeah. That Harry Potter tweet, man, that thing went... I didn't realize... I mean, I saw when you posted it at first, but I don't really care too much about the new Harry Potter. I'm not really big on Harry Potter, but man, you posted that image, that thing like took off, man. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Yeah, 555 million views. Crazy. I know, and I looked, because I saw like you posted, which smart, that you posted your stream that you're going to have, tomorrow, whatever, and everybody subscribed to Real Anarchy, posted with that since it was going crazy. But man, I was like, I looked at the thing, I was like 50, it was at 53, I think, when you posted that. Pretty crazy. You just never know what's going to happen on Twitter. I'll have things that just like go off too, not like that much, but I'll have things just go off that I didn't think would go off, and they just go off, so pretty crazy. Anyways, so yeah, we started off the tweets with a meme. And we're gonna, okay, so again, I mean, this movie, it's gonna be very curious to see, again, how the general audience and how people respond to this movie. And it's Good Boy. We're talking about Good Boy again. Ever since I heard about this concept of Good Boy, which if you haven't heard about it, the trailer is out there where you're basically seeing a horror movie. You're seeing people getting haunted by ghosts and demons or whatever the hell, and we're seeing it from the perspective of the dog, which of course is a pretty cool concept because dogs and other animals see things we don't see. But obviously the trailer came out, and the biggest thing that we're worried about, the biggest thing people are worried about, of course, is Google searches for "Does the dog die in Good Boy" have spiked by 2,000% since the first trailer dropped. We are worried about this cute dog. This dog. Beautiful dog. Of course, they choose a cute freaking dog, and we're just so worried that this dog is going to die. Everybody's just like, you know what? I mean, I think people people want to know because they don't want to pay money to go watch the dog die. That just shows you right there. That shows you the human. I mean, it is man's best friend. It is man's best friend. I mean, you watch the first John Wick, you can't tell me the first 20 minutes of John Wick, as awesome as the first John Wick movie is, you can't tell me the first 20 minutes, a little difficult to watch. First 15, 20 minutes, a little difficult to watch. It's how John Wick turned into the franchise that it did by the first 15 and 20 minutes being such a goddamn downer. I mean, you have a funeral happening. He gets gifted a dog. The dog gets killed. How that movie ended up being a big, huge franchise, because by starting off like that is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Just shows you Keanu Reeves, good action direction and everything. But man, people and dogs, man. People and dogs. And I'm sure, and I am 100% sure, that 87% of those Google searches from women. Yep, absolutely. You know it is. You know it's true. All right, let's take it back here, folks. Let's get a little nostalgic right here, because I saw this on my feed and I went, oh man, I can taste it right now. And you guys know I'm a Batman fan, and you better believe when Batman 89 came out, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about it before on the show. Breakfast has never been cooler, and of course she said, than eating Batman cereal in 1989. I think I even had that little thing too, that Batman right there. I think I had that too, but yeah, the Batman cereal. Look at that cereal. It looks like mac and cheese. Looks like mac and cheese on the box right there. It tasted like stale Captain Crunch and fucking guinea pig pellets, and it cut the roof of our mouths. We didn't care. Still ate it. I didn't care. I was not a big cereal guy. You better believe I ate that goddamn gross cereal. Oh, I can still taste it now. There was nothing to it. They seriously took Captain Crunch and just redid it and made little bats out of whatever they made Captain Crunch out of. But it was sharp. Nothing good about that. Good God. Nothing good about that cereal. I didn't really like it. Cereal is just horrible altogether, to be honest. I mean, the fact that it still boggles my mind that, growing up, I mean, you wake up, hey, what do you want to eat? Pancakes? Huh? You want pancakes? You want donuts? Pop-Tarts? A breakfast pastry? Okay. And then meanwhile, then you got people, and you see the local Starbucks, and there's a line wrapped around the fucking building, and what are these people ordering? Pumpkin spice venti lattes with like 1,000 grams of sugar? Gee, why are we the fattest nation? I don't know. You got me. Jason Momoa might be starring in a pretty cool action movie that would be right up his alley. And I love how it says potentially, but Jason Momoa looks like he's going to be teaming up with David Leitch for, yes, an action thriller called The Pirate. And it's, of course, just described as The Raid set on a pirate ship. All right. That's all you got to say. The Raid is like Die Hard. The Raid is like the new Die Hard, because a lot of things in the 90s and the 2000s, when they were pitched, it was Die Hard in an elevator. It was Die Hard on a bus. It was Die Hard on a boat. So, I mean, so there's just like Die Hard was always like that. It seems like now if you're going to do like a crazy action movie, you refer to The Raid. That's how good The Raid is. And the sequel. And it says, I love it. He said, potentially will star. Yes, he's going to star. Why would Jason Momoa not star in that movie? Of course he's going to star in that movie. Are you kidding me? The dude looks like a fucking pirate already. He's going to star in that movie. All right, what else we have? Okay, we got this right here. Okay, some of you guys out there need to relax a little bit. Oh, Dutch Bros is better than Starbucks? It's still overpriced, shitty coffee. Anyways, what's going on, Jacob? Good to see you. Some of you guys need to relax a little bit with the fan castings of Batman, and I sometimes just go, all right, what are we doing here? When I see it on my feed, I get it. We're all excited. We like to do the fan castings. Obviously, I've pushed back on some. I do not like Glenn Powell as Batman. I don't think he would be a good Batman. Alan Ritchson, better than Glenn Powell, but still I go, I just don't see it. And now we have and I started seeing somebody new, and it's only because he just had a new spread in Men's Health where he's showing off the abs and the shoulders and the body, and all of a sudden I started seeing Austin Butler being fan cast. I mean, obviously you have the spread right here. Dude he's jacked, super ripped, obviously. There's a whole big spread and a video and everything talking about everything. But when I saw people like, well, what if he went Batman? I'm like, no. The face. He doesn't have the face. He's got like a baby face. Dude's in his early 30s, but he still looks like, his face looks like he's 16 still. And I'm like, no. Green Arrow, I've seen the fan casting for Green Arrow. I see that. I even heard a while back when I used to have a little bit of source that was like, was hearing things when it came to Warner Brothers and DC Studios. I heard that they were looking at him at one point and he was being considered for Superman. I didn't like that either. But, I could see him somewhere else. But hey, dude's in really great shape. And apparently it wasn't even really for the movie. It wasn't required for it because he's in that one movie that's coming out. I forgot what it's called. Totally forgot what it's called. But then there's a movie that he's going to be playing called Enemies. I think that's with Tom Holland also. And it wasn't like a studio thing that he was like, oh yeah, can you get in like big time shape? He just wanted to be in big time shape, apparently. According to the article, I read some of the article, and his trainer was saying, yeah, he just wanted to just have a foundation. I'm like, okay, that's quite a foundation right there. Caught stealing, thank you. But I mean, he's always been in good shape. I mean, he got in really good shape for Dune Part 2. So I think he just wanted to, I think he probably fell off a little bit because that's usually what happens with actors. But I think he took it upon himself to be like, no, you know what? I want to just kind of like stay in a good spot. And I'm just like, well, genetics does help too, obviously. I saw this image of Glenn Howerton. Yeah, Dennis as Joker. And I can't, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't see him as Batman, Eric. I just really don't see it. Really don't see it. All right, Meow. Do you guys know about this, Meow? Yeah, you know what movie I'm talking about, Meow? You know, just, I'm going to take a sip of my wine, Meow. All right? That's good. All right, Meow. Look what's happening right now. Super Troopers 3 has begun filming. What? They're making a third one. Why not? Make it a trilogy. Nothing wrong with that, right? Obviously the first Super Troopers, excellent. Second one I only watched once. It was kind of It was one of those, again, you do like a sequel so many years later with such a hit that was the original, you kind of, I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it as much as I love the original. And I remember hearing from Jay Kastahari, I never could say his last name right. I couldn't say a lot of last names right. I remember hearing that, oh yeah, they were trying to get a third one going. So there's the third one. There's a third one. Well, he keeps on going, guys. That's right. And who am I talking about? Oh, a little scooper. A little scooper that got his feelings hurt. Somebody, a certain director and co-CEO of a studio, got under his skin. And, well, you guys know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Jeff Snyder. And apparently he took to a Reddit and went buck wild because everybody, of course, saw his video where he lost his mind and basically going to war, waging war. Ooh, if you guys saw that. I reacted to it. I posted a video about it too. If you didn't check it out, you want to see my reaction to it where I talk shit to him because I think he's just he's the worst of the worst when it comes to this. And there's a reason why, he's, not some, big, huge Hollywood journalist because he's just, I don't know how people even like him, but he went buck wild and underneath a Reddit. And he was just like, he couldn't help himself. He went, well, I'm not going to read this whole thing. It's the real Jeff Snyder here. You guys are a bunch of fucking morons. If I'm such a dumbass who makes shit for clicks, why am I sourced in trades? And literally, he had to stroke his ego right here, of course. And of course, I don't take shit from anyone, and that includes James Gunn. You think I give a shit? He's a studio head? I'll be writing about DC a lot longer than James Gunn will be running that place. Ugh. I take my job seriously. Do ya? I strive for accuracy, and when I'm wrong, my stomach hurts. Aw, his tummy hurts. But look, he went off. Look at all this. 20 fucking years in the business so people like James Gunn and that idiot publicist at Searchlight who blatantly lied about Taylor Swift's movie can shit on my reputation to protect their so-called secrets? These people will lie right to your fucking face. This is like a true meltdown. The dude is melting down. And it keeps going. I mean, Jesus Christ. And I've written for an industry audience that knows what the fuck is up, not peons on Reddit spouting conspiracy theories to honor their Dark Lord James Gunn. Y'all gonna suck my dick if your mom isn't already blowing me inside a movie theater. Oh, and then, of course, he responded right here. You don't even know the depths to which I'm willing to sink. It's really no different than James Gunn going online to respond to his haters. The other thing that bothers me is when your mom leaves my place after the first round. I was told you can't fight everyone online, but you can if you make the effort. God, he likes to do the whole mom thing. It's like, oh, wow, good job. You brought mom... Okay, good burn there, buddy. Yeah, you really are, like, your mindset is back in 1995. Fuck. Jesus Christ. Dude, get on some testosterone. Jeff Snyder, like, dude, you were low. You were low on testosterone right now. I would suggest maybe just go see a doctor, get checked, check the levels, maybe change up the diet a little bit. I don't know. There might be something going on with that, but yeah, you're acting like a little bitch. But then again, you've always been a little bitch, so yeah, just losing his mind when all that. I tell you what, and I love it too. And I hope he really tries where he does get sued by Warner Brothers and DC Studios. Because if he were to leak things, yes, he could be held accountable. Like, that is an actual fact. For some reason, he doesn't think he is, because he lives in some weird bubble. He will get in trouble for doing some crazy things. Oh, let him come after me. He's got me blocked on Twitter. Whatever. He can come after me. I don't give a fuck. Do you think I give a fuck? No. Again, we need to stop it with these crazy, I don't know, well, this doesn't even make sense, but apparently, Glenn Powell, obviously, being the fact that a lot of people were fan casting him as Batman. I don't think I saw one person fan cast him as James Bond, but he was asked during an interview if he wanted to play James Bond, and he answered perfectly, I'm Texan. A Texan should not play James Bond. Get an authentic Brit for that job. Yeah, some mom in Arlington, Texas, who has a crush on Glenn Powell, maybe fan cast him as James Bond, but I don't know anybody that would actually fan cast Glenn Powell as James Bond. Are you kidding me? So whoever asked that, good job. You're coming in with the tough questions. Jesus Christ. What the hell? The fan casting sometimes. Oh, and I love a good trolling, and guess what? You know who did some trolling? Paramount. Paramount did some trolling when it came to Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, because now you can watch it at home. I think you could fully watch it on Paramount Plus or something. I don't know. But to basically celebrate the fact that you could watch it, people were confused by the fact that they set a premiere for Mission Impossible Final Reckoning to basically stream on YouTube for free, but it was one big troll. The entirety of Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, is being live streamed in Morse code right now on YouTube. So that's what it's... So the entire movie is being played right now with this shot right here, and it's nothing but Morse code on Paramount Movies. I mean, to me, I think that's fun because they have the link where you can watch it, and, it's just marketing. Jesus Christ. Anybody who's actually listening to all that, holy crap. But yeah, that's just funny. That's just funny right there. That's just funny. So, there's the tweets. Good marketing. Good marketing, guys. Good marketing. I like it. Why not? They use Morse code, I think, right, in the movie? Yeah. I like Final Reckoning, just not as much as most of the others. All right, let's see. Let's get into the main topics here. It's actually better than empty chairs and what Marvel... No, I thought that was actually smart, because I had that live stream up the entire time. I had the live stream up as I was working, and anytime I heard the music, I was like, oop, who's next? That was actually really smart. The chair thing that Marvel Studios did, I actually think that was actually really smart. It had people watching a live stream the whole time, and it was exciting anytime you heard, like, okay, who's next? So I actually thought that was pretty smart. This is pretty funny too, but okay. Let's see. What are we going to start off with? Okay, we got. Well, I think we'll start off with a couple of things here because James Gunn's been doing some more talking. Well, first off, where is it at? Now I'm going to bring it up here. All right, let's. We got a little bit of disappointing news, but nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy because who knows? Again, we could take it with who knows what's going to happen. It's not all legit yet, but let me find the video because we need the video of it. But this has to do with the Batman. This has to do with the Batman Part 2. Has to do with the Batman Part 2, and it has to do with cinematographer Greg Fraser, of course, who shot the first Batman and, of course, did the Dune movies and everything. So we have Josh Brolin right here being interviewed, and this is what he had to say when it came to Greg Fraser.
I'll end on this because I know Dune 3 is coming up.
Yeah.
I believe Greg Fraser is not the DP on it. I think it's Lena Sandgren now, who I think shot La La Land and Babylon.
Yeah.
When you enter a world that's already been set up by Denis, by Greg, is that something you're thinking about? Yeah, we have a new DP. That's someone I need to build a new language with. I've already built a language with Greg. That's got to be an interesting thing.
It's an interesting thing because I know Greg is doing Sam Mendes, the Beatles thing. He's doing 4 Beatles movies. So that's a huge thing. That takes 2 years, and so he wasn't able to do it. But, Denis is such a close friend. It's like you're not gonna hire somebody who you don't jibe with and who's not going to do an amazing job. So I'm used to Greg. I love the idea of Clint Eastwood or something using the same people movie after movie after movie. And there's something really wonderful about that. But I remember, when Greg Fraser came in, having worked with Roger Deakins.
Right, because
that was Sicario with Roger Deakins. And then, I'm going to do Dune, but I'm going to do it with this guy, Greg Fraser, who I didn't know very well. Yeah. And then I got super close with Greg, and I am super close with Greg. And I go to London to do some additional shooting for Running Man next week, I think. And I called Greg immediately.
What?
And I was like, hey, I'm going to be in London because he's in London now. And I'm like, can I see you? And you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a deep friendship.
All right, so basically, well, that's interesting. Apparently, they're still going to be doing some additional photography for Running Man. I mean, I don't know how long ago this was recorded. I'm sure it wasn't too long ago. So that's pretty interesting. So they did postpone Running Man for like a week. So I don't know. Hopefully nothing too crazy. But the fact of the matter is he is going to be shooting those 4 Beatles movies. If you guys remember, Sam Mendes is doing a Beatles cinematic universe. Each Beatle member is having their own movie, and you're going to see the perspectives of all 4 members kind of intertwine when it comes to all this, which is very interesting. I think it could work. I don't know, but if Greg Fraser's going to be doing that, that is a 2-year job. Now, when does that start shooting? Or, it just seems like if he's going to be wrapped up in all that for a bit, I don't know exactly the timelines and everything, but the Batman 2 is supposed to start shooting in spring of next year. I'm not sure when the Beatles movie is supposed to be shooting either. So there's probably a good chance that Greg Fraser is not going to be shooting the Batman 2 as well. So he's not doing Dune Part 3, and he's not going to be doing the Batman Part 2. And that's a little disappointing, but at the same time, it's like, hey, and Matt Reeves, we fucking trust. I know a lot of people are like, oh, God damn it, what, but I'm like going, okay, I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to be fine. So, no one cares about the Beatles. No, what are you talking about? Nobody cares about the Beatles. People still care about the Beatles. Music Man, you're a music man, and you're saying nobody cares about the Beatles? Come on, Music Man, what are we doing here? They were the biggest band in the world. And you know what? If Sam Mendes and the studio, this idea, I dig it. I dig it. I definitely dig it. So, all right, now to James Gunn talking about things because he was, more interviews, more podcasts that he showed up on. And, so he did talk about Peacemaker's link to Superman. So how does Peacemaker link to Superman? So, well, James Gunn, of course, talked about it. I mean, obviously we knew that there was going to be some linkage to it because pocket universes, and we saw what was happening in the Peacemaker trailer. Obviously, we saw what happened in Superman. So this is what James Gunn has to say about that. There's this thing called a quantum unfolding chamber, a dimensional doorway to 99 other dimensions that becomes a sort of crisis with Argus because of what happened in Superman with Lex Luthor's dimensional pathway tearing up and destroying a quarter of Metropolis. So those events obviously have an effect when it comes to Peacemaker. Now again, Jimmy Gunn's playing with, He's trying his best not to be like, you don't have to have homework, guys. You don't have to have homework. I'm sure they'll have like a nice little, oh, this is what happened right here because of this. Just a nice little, hey, well, this is the reason why. Where people don't have to watch Superman, but hey, obviously they want people to watch Superman. That's why they released it on PVOD before Peacemaker came out. But it's going to be interesting because, man, I tell you what's going to be in these little, 99 other dimensions. I got 99 dimensions and a bitch ain't one. There's probably going to be a joke about that in there somewhere, right? Jimmy Guns? Jesus Christ. So you got that. So that's going to be, of course, something when it comes to that. I don't know how many times, and I'm so getting tired of just seeing the reports that James Gunn is working on the Superman sequel. Can we stop that? Can we stop that? We know he's working on the Superman sequel. Now, this is interesting right here because Jimmy Guns and Zack Snyder, again, being looked at when it comes to things. That's right. Fortnite is looking at both Jimmy Guns and Zack Snyder for when it comes to skins for Fortnite. And of course, it's from their particular universes. James Gunn and Zack Snyder's Justice League were listed on Fortnite's August 2025 survey for possible skins. So they had a survey of being like, okay, what other characters would you, because obviously Corn Sweat, Superman, made it into Fortnite, but it's like probably what other characters might make it into Fortnite. And then they're even thinking about bringing in Zack Snyder's Justice League members possibly with it too. There you go. Too bad the fans can't just high-five each other. No, they have to be behind a gate, which is their computer screen and keyboard, and just yeah. Fucking idiots. But hey, could be entertaining, I guess. WB Games. All right, so somebody told me about this on Monday's show. I forgot who out there was like on Monday's show. Somebody said, "Oh yeah, they're going to be announcing like a Lego Batman game or something." The rumor had to be, and it's going to be like a Legacy Batman game. I don't know who said that. But I was just kind of like, oh, it looks like we have Jeff Snyder in the chat, of course. Man, who's running the account that changes all the time? Anyways, good to see you, Jeff. Big fan. So you got Lego Batman. We got a new game coming out, and everybody was just like going, holy shit, where did this come from? I'm like, I want a new Lego Batman movie with Will Arnett voicing. I want a sequel, but that's not going to happen because it seems like the Lego movies just kind of just died off, which sucks, but here we go. We got this trailer. You know I'm all about it. Why is the volume so low? I don't know why the volume's so low on this. Weird. But anyways, we don't have to watch the whole thing. But I mean, it is a Lego Batman movie that's going to have like different kinds of, obviously the Legacy. You got Pattinson's costume right there. There's going to be all different kinds of skins. But it's not Will Arnett, of course.
Batman. So serious.
Why so serious?
Want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yeah, obviously there's going to be a lot of little Easter eggs. A lot of the Batman stuff, obviously, that they were recognizing. Like Penguin Chase. That's pretty cool. No, that looks really good. I mean, they always tempt me with like, because I don't play video games all that much. Not really at all, because I think it would be too distracting. But man, I would play that. I want to play that. Might play that. I don't know. Man. But yeah, so a lot of people were talking about that. And then, of course, there's going to be like various different skins. At first, that's not coming out till next year. But that was something kind of cool. It was like, all right, cool. We got something going when it comes to Warner Brothers games. Because let's face it, they kind of dropped the ball on that whole Wonder Woman game. And Superman, they can't seem to figure a Superman game out. And, Jimmy Guns did talk about the fact that they wanted to incorporate games. Of course, it's not going to be canon to anything. And speaking of not being canon, those crypto shorts, those animated shorts, those aren't going to be canon to the DCU. They're just going to be their own thing, just for, something for the kids and everything. So, yeah, so those, you don't expect that either. And then, of course, Peacemaker premieres Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. my time. I'm going to be at the movies. So I'll watch it Friday for sure, and then I'll talk about it at the opening of the Vodka stream. So the first episode, I'll do that. And then, of course, we got this right here from the Lego Batman movie. Who is the Batman? Billionaire baby Bruce returns. Of course, it has a bunch of things like that from the Gotham Globe. Even got Commissioner Gordon right there. It's a Jeffrey Wright version, too. So it looks like they're leaning more heavily on the Batman than some of the other ones. That's for sure. And James Gunn, of course, he released like the music list. So if you're wondering what Peacemaker Season 2 is going to have, Episode 1, this is the playlist right here. So I don't really know any of these. Blue Jeans, maybe? I'd have to listen to these because seeing the titles, I'm like going, I have no idea what's going to be happening with that. All I know is like there's going to be some raunchy like stuff from the boys kind of stuff that's going to be happening in this season. That's for damn sure. Okay. Where are we going here? All right, hold on a sec. Let me see. Did I post that? No, I don't think I did. Whoops. Should have had this video up. I'm a super casual gamer. Last game I played was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 on the PS3. Yeah. It's like, yeah, but, I just worry.
I listen to people. I listen to go read some comics with John.
Yeah. Let's see. For Superman. I totally just messed up and lost the video of him saying this. I didn't want to read the quote. Here it is right here. All right. So here's the quote right here. This is probably nothing. This is probably nothing when it comes to what Jimmy Guns is saying right here. Because, it just seems like he was just thinking out loud and just maybe just going whatever. I mean, we know we're getting a Superman sequel, but it's not fully a Superman sequel. It's just another chapter in Superman's story. It's most likely going to be a super family kind of thing. But he did say this right here, and I forgot, let's see, what podcast is this? I forgot what podcast this is on. But, hey, this is what he was talking about right here. When it comes to possibly having like a four movie Superman arc.
Telling here, what is the story that I'm going to tell about Superman over 4 movies? What is the story
movies
I'm telling about Peacemaker over, a number of different media? What is it that's the long-term story for these characters, and how does that intertwine with the stories of other characters, whether it's Harcourt or Eagly or Batman, who we haven't even met yet. So what is the big story we're telling here? What's the big purpose here? So that is always a part of something.
Yeah, he also said Batman, which we haven't met yet. So, of course, naturally, stop it, everybody trying to bring Robert Pattinson into the DCU. Stop it. It's not going to happen. He's clarified that so many goddamn times. Swear to God, if people keep on goddamn writing about that, we haven't met him yet. Which I'm glad. But yes, he said four Superman movies, but he might have just been spitballing that number. That might not be an accurate number. Who knows? There could be more. Who knows? And does that include any kind of team-up movies, Justice League movies? Is there going to be, what's going to be happening? Is this first chapter going to have a Justice League team-up? There's a lot of, curious things, too. And, yeah, it was brought up earlier, the fact that, when Zach was handling this stuff, he had a 5-part Superman arc that was, that started off with Man of Steel and went to Batman vs. Superman, and then it was supposed to be 3 Justice League movies. But what's interesting about that is that constantly changed, which it's totally funny too. Like when I see, dumbasses out there that are trying to do everything and anything possible to say that, oh, James Gunn doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't this, that, and this. Like, things keep on changing. It's like, yeah, things change all the time when you're trying to do all this stuff. A lot of things changed when it came to Zach as well, because there was supposed to be just like 2 Justice League movies. Then it was going to be 1 Justice League movie, and they were going to fit a bunch of stuff in there. But then they were like, oh, well, there's too much shit that they were going to fit in there. So then they were like, oh, yeah, it's going to be 2 Justice League movies. Oh, and then it's going to be 3 Justice League movies. It kept going back and forth. And this is coming directly from the source. Mind you, directly from the guy. I think I remember having, this wasn't on a Vodka stream or something like that, or maybe it was. I think at one point it was just talking on the phone during that time when we were like, when I was talking to the guy, I laughed at it. Yeah, at one point it was just going to be like this, then it was going to be, it was going to be 2 parts, then it was going to be 3, and then it got condensed down, blah, 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 blah. But so we don't know exactly. He could have just been saying something, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a minimum. That's a minimum. You're going to talk, he's going to have his Superman arc play out in 4 movies, 4 individual movies, but does that include a team-up movie? Does that include, like, or is he gonna have a World's Finest at one point? These are the questions, but, and this is what I like. I like to talk about this stuff. Theorize. What is he doing? And of course you could be critical about it, for sure. But, just be smart about it. That's what I always ask from, anybody who's critical, just be smart about it. There's a lot of people that just aren't smart about it, and they're just acting like idiots. But, yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I don't know. Wasn't BVS meant to be a 2-parter? No, that was fake. I remember when somebody released, like, a 2-parter, like, title thing. I remember when that came out. People thought it was real, but it was fake. No, it was never going to be a 2-parter. But Justice League was going to be like, they were just going to have 1 movie at first, but then there was so much shit that they were thinking about that it was going to be 2 movies, and then it was going to be 3 movies. And yeah, so it was just like, it kept shifting because they, obviously the studio didn't know what the fuck they were wanting to do. Ah, man. So, and then, of course, he did talk about the next movie we're going to be making. It's probably the follow-up to Superman, Technically not a full-on sequel, most likely a Super Family movie with Supergirl, Krypto, and whoever else is going to be showing up in the Super Family. Maybe, it'd be cool if Steel shows up. I would love to have Steel be added to it, but who knows if that's going to be the case. Hopefully we're making Batman 2 before that. So, he said hopefully. I love that. Hopefully. James Gunn also said that The Brave and the Bold, Wonder Woman, Booster Gold, and Paradise Lost are still going well, though some things have changed, which they are going to change. The thing that I like about what Jimmy Guns is doing is, yes, he's announced things, but he didn't put a date on them. That's the thing. And yeah, the Authority might not be happening. That might have been canceled. Sure. But when he initially was like, hey, because they needed a slate. But they were smart enough to not put dates on the slate. That's what Marvel Studios does. That's what a lot of studios do, is they put a movie on a certain date and it never fucking meets that date. Never does. But they feel like they have to. Oh yeah, set your date for this. But luckily, James Gunn has not done that. The only dates that we've had, really, when it comes to release dates, is Superman and Supergirl. Superman stuck to the date that was originally announced, and I'm guessing that Supergirl is also going to stick to that date. So, positive. That's a positive, right? That's a positive. All right. Jimmy Guns also said that when it comes to his DCU, there's basically, when it comes to DCU, corporations and metahumans and governments are like, the most important thing when it comes to all that. He says there's Luthor Corp, there's Lord Tech and Stag Industries and Wayne Enterprises, which are the 4 big companies that are vying for another type of domination. So you got all that, and it's going to be interesting with Wayne Enterprises being in that mix as well. So that's also going to be very interesting. He also said when it comes to Peacemaker Season 2, it was one of the, James Gunn says, it was one of the most stunning things seeing how much John Cena has improved as an actor from, Season 1. There's a scene in episode 6 between him and Jen that is maybe my favorite couple of minutes of acting of anything I've ever put together. Wow! See, John Cena trying to get that number 1 spot that Dave Bautista got ranked. Remember when I was talking about the Hollywood Reporter ranking wrestler to actors? And Dave Bautista was number 1. John Cena was number 3 underneath Dwayne Johnson. Nothing against Dwayne Johnson. People think I hate that guy. I don't hate him. I don't hate Dwayne Johnson. He's just, I just don't like him as much anymore. But hey, the Smashing Machine. And then, of course, there was a whole behind-the-scenes featurette when it came to Peacemaker when they were filming
New and improved
the dance
opening
sequence.
dance number for Peacemaker Season 2.
I'm not a dancer, and I warned them.
We'll see.
So this looks, it's a fun little video.
There's hella more people.
This is the first time everyone has been in one room. What's going on here? This is what I have to deal with.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Twirl around, land.
In between takes, would rehearse together.
I've gone over these moves a million times.
My favorite part is watching
Okay. That's what's his name? I can't remember his name. The dude that was in the office and he's in here. That's the first time we're seeing him in his costume. So that was a little bit of something.
I really exceed.
See, remember Frank Grillo said he didn't want to dance? Apparently he got into it.
Don't smile. Totally serious.
We're supposed to keep a neutral face. I find it very difficult.
The Season 1 dance number was a huge hit. We're all trying to put our best feet forward.
Woo! We're having a blast.
What else you want to know about it?
There you go. I think James Gunn likes it when when his wife is kissing John Cena. Just kidding. Maybe he does. I don't know. All right, that's all with the DCU news right there. Frank looks worn out. Looks like, man, you're on a good one, Music Man. You were just hating everything today. He is 60 years old and is in much better shape than most of us. So, oh great, another devil worship dance sequence. Ooh, Game City Savior coming in with a conspiracy theories. Oh man. All right. That's it when it comes to DCU stuff. Now, let's get over to Spider-Man, because Spider-Man Brand New Day, we don't have set photos or videos or anything like that, but we got some casting news when it comes to Spider-Man. We have one official and one unofficial. So the first one, and it's so funny because people just love this guy now. People just love him. And he showed up in Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, and even like his entrance in there, people reacted in my movie theater, and I remember seeing that people reacted in their movie theaters when he showed up. It's not like he was an existing character or anything. It was just like, oh, yeah. Tramell Tillman. He's joining. Of course, from Severance. And I'm totally blanking on what's his character's name in Severance? God damn it. Somebody remind me. I'm totally just drawing a blank right now. But yes, he is joining. They don't say who he is or anything. They just said Tillman, of course, stars as Seth Milchick. That's right, Milchick. I was like, wait, Milchick? I was thinking Milkshake. I don't know. And it's close. It's close. Milchick. Milchick. The award winning, of course, Severance and blah, 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 blah. And he was in Final Reckoning. But I mean, like, everybody just loves this guy. Just from that show, because that show is so goddamn good, and he's so good in it. And then, like I said, when he showed up in Mission Impossible, he just brought that presence that he had to that small role that he had. It wasn't a big role in Final Reckoning, but when he shows up, you just go, Milchick. Now, according to some scoopers out there, and the one that I actually do kind of like, I do trust, a lot of people are going like, who's he playing? Is he playing Rhino? Is he playing Tombstone? According to this person, not playing Tombstone. And then I even thought, well, I mean, I get people don't like this when this happens, but they did do it in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. They did race swap Norman Osborn. Would we hate it too much if he ended up being Norman Osborn? Would we hate it? Would we hate it? That's the thing. It's like just, I don't know. Like, that's going to, obviously, if that's the case, probably not the case. Who knows? But apparently he is, in fact, playing a villain. He is, in fact, playing a villain. Now, the unofficial casting of Spider-Man Brand New Day is from Daniel RPK. Scoopy, rumor. Florence Pugh is going to be showing up in Spider-Man Brand New Day, of course, reprising Yelena. So Florence Pugh is going to be teaming up with Tom Holland's Thwip. All right. Just making little noises here, guys. That's all. It's what Film Junkee Live is all about, making noises. So that makes sense. It's still ground level, like a ground level, still city ground level type of thing here. Oh, man. So I think, what the hell? Oh, there it is. No, shit. I had something here. Because, here it is, Jesus Christ. I had it saved and then I freaking messed it up. Anyways, but it is kind of funny because when it comes to Florence Pugh, we have Tom Holland right here basically wishing it into existence, or he spoiled it but then this is for this is back when Spider-Man No Way Home came out.
You've got some great new stars in the MCU. You've got Angelina Jolie, Harry Styles, people like that. Who are the newbies that you're excited to work with next?
I want to work with Florence Pugh.
Whoa.
I think she's amazing. She's so good in that movie and all the movies that she's done. I think she's fantastic. So I think a really cool Spider-Man Black Widow movie would be a fun little twist.
You've got some great...
There you go. Tom Holland wished it into existence, or set it into existence right there. So he wanted to work with her. I mean, yeah. Who wouldn't want to work with Florence? She seems like very fun to work with. And she's adorable. Watch out, Zendaya. I'm just kidding. I think it'll be all right. So there you go. There's your... Did I hit that? But yeah, there you go. So... Pretty good. All right. So, all right. Well done, Tom. Yeah, no, he helped. He helped say it into existence. And it makes sense because a lot of people are worried that it's not going to be a ground level, like a city level type of Spider-Man. But, she's not a superhuman character. And I'm wondering if she's going to be trying to recruit him for the new Avengers. Could be that. All right. What are we seeing over the weekend, guys? It's slim pickings. Like I said, we're done with summer blockbuster season. We are now August movies, but there is a lot. It's not really slim pickings, which is kind of funny. It's just, you just got to find a movie theater that's carrying these fucking movies. Like the movie I want to see, which is Honey, Don't. It's the movie I want to see from Ethan Coen, starring Margaret O'Malley and Aubrey Plaza and Chris Evans. Looks good. And the theater that I go to usually by myself that's about 19 minutes away, they're not screening it. So I'm going to have to go to the theater that I usually go to with other people that is a half hour away to go see it tomorrow. And yeah, so, I mean, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but hey. But it is kind of interesting because this is, you would think that this being one of the Coen brothers movies, you'd think like maybe, I mean, it's got a pretty interesting cast. It's got like a noirish type thing. My freaking control panel here is just acting stupid. But anyways, here we go. 48% with 44 reviews. So desperate parts and desperate measures spell defeat for Ethan Coen this time around in a romp that tries to cast a wide net but still ultimately leaves audiences saying, honey, don't. Oof. So like a little bit of a mixed bag here. Starting off with the bag one, Ethan Coen deserves praise for trying something new as a mature artist, but before he tries it again, he should consider holding out for better material. Margot Qualley continues to illustrate that she is one of today's most exciting actresses with another performance that shows range, nuance, and wit. And again, this is why I don't understand Rotten Tomatoes sometimes. Original score is a 2.5 out of 4? But yet, that sounds like more of a 3.5 or a 4. I don't know. Like I said, it's interesting. It's one of those, they're having fun, so we're having fun movies that Ethan Coen has more than earned his right to make. Quali is by far the best thing about director Ethan Coen's tweaked spin on the gumshoe mystery genre, and you can't overstate how much her performance glides the movie over an abundance of rough patches and past dead end detours. And then Cook and Coen submit another dud in Honey Don't, which supplies unpleasantness, even more unbearable performances, and a central mystery that carries no cinematic weight. Even as a Coen-flavored feature, it's less about trying to get on the same wavelength of their oddball sense of humor and more of a trifle that doesn't seem particularly well thought out. All right. I know, now people are like, just get the brothers back together. But I'm like, well, I like the fact that, you know, you branch off. Nothing wrong with that. But that's the movie I plan on seeing tomorrow. I do plan on seeing that tomorrow. And I love that poster too, because, you know, they have Quali, you know, standing like this, holding her gun. I mean, it's very like old school, gumshoe mystery. And she's standing like this, you know. Margaret Qualley has a great butt. Watch The Substance. She has a great tush. So they were like, hey, let's put that on the poster. I mean, I think you guys can agree, right? I mean, especially if you saw The Substance. My God. All right, let's talk about Zack Snyder. Zack freaking Snyder, finally, I mean, there was caught wind of this, you know, a bit ago, but now it's official. And I think I even talked about it briefly on here that, you know, because there was, what's his name was on some kind of stream or whatever the hell. And he was talking about, oh yeah, Zack's got a mystery. He's got like a mystery film. I'm not going to reveal this mystery film, but people are going to be surprised by it when it gets announced. And naturally, of course, the dingleberries out there just go, is he coming back to DC? Is he coming back to DC? Because that's all they think about Zack Snyder is DC. They don't think about him as an actual auteur type of filmmaker. And yeah, it's just annoying as all hell. But hey, here we go. Finally, Horse Latitudes, aka The Last Photograph, which he's been trying to make for over a decade, probably longer. At one point, Christian Bale was attached to actually be in this movie when it was before Zack was even trying to do Man of Steel and whatever. But here we go. Zack Snyder finally to direct his war drama, The Last Photograph. Shooting begins later this month with 2 actors from the filmmaker's Rebel Moon movies. So he's working with these 2. Oh, shit. There we go. Zack Snyder is finally tackling a passion project, and there is not a single cape, zombie, or rebellious moon in sight. Starting later this year, Snyder will begin filming The Last Photograph, a drama that he originated and has been developing since the mid-2000s. So this is like 20 years. Stuart Martin and Frey Fee, both of whom appeared in Snyder's Rebel Moon movies, will star in the feature an indie, whose budget will be significantly lower than it's going to be lower than any fucking Zack Snyder movie. What are we talking about here? Snyder is producing with a creative partner and wife, of course, Deborah and Wesley Collier via the Stone Quarry banner. Also producing will be, you know, those people in the Hollywood Gang Productions. The project, a war drama, will shoot in several locales around the globe, including Colombia, Iceland, and Los Angeles. Why would you want to go to that shithole? Just kidding. Well, no, Los Angeles is a shithole, but I don't know. Local companies will assist in producing in the films the far-flung locations. Executive producers include Spanish company, and they just mention all that. Yeah, so there's all that, and the biggest thing too right here. Did you guys see this? Did you guys see this name right here? Do ya? Snyder also has his composers lined up. Hans Zimmer. What? And of course, Stephen Dwyer and Amar Benjamin. Hans Zimmer? What are we doing here? Longtime colleague Kurt Johnstad. Johnstad wrote the script after working with Snyder on 300 and Rebel Moon. It is based on a story from Snyder himself. So there you go, guys. Bam. And of course, there is good old Jeff Snyder again. people were talking about like things that were happening because, you know, obviously with this right here, so Zach's going to be doing this first. Likely the LAPD movie is next, and then that's going to lead into Brawler. So Zach is going to be pretty damn busy for the next 3 to 4, maybe even 5 years. I don't know, depending on how long these shoots are and how long the post-production and everything's going to be. But he's going to be shooting this year. Odds are he's going to be shooting the LAPD movie next year. But then, of course, there's a rumor that it's being held up, and that's why he's doing this first. And according to that rat-faced motherfucker that is Jeff Schneider, is the fact that apparently, and, you know, there could be some truth to this because it just seems like, you know, sorry to say it, and even though I'm like the biggest fan of the guy, the biggest fan, he's one of my favorite directors, but you have to see the writing on the wall. I'm not going to sit here and just bullshit like some of the more diehard fans and all this stuff. Like, again, just wait until we start getting streaming and PVOD numbers for Superman, and we start getting those comparisons to Rebel Moon, Army of the Dead, and even Zack Snyder's Justice League, because Zack hasn't had an actual, I guess you could say, release in theaters in a bit. It's been a bit. I mean, there was a limited release when it came to Army of the Dead, but you just wait till you get to that discourse after Superman's been on PVOD, and then when it hits streaming, oh my God, both sides are going to be they're going to be like, this one's better. It's just going to be stupid. But I'm not going to sit here and bullshit that Netflix is probably wasn't too pleased with what Rebel Moon. There was no real hype. They tried to do the Snyder Cut thing. Didn't quite work. I just wouldn't be surprised if there's not going to be any more Rebel Moon. I don't know what's going on with the video game that came out that you can get through Netflix. I haven't tried it yet. I've talked to people who have. They like the game. I don't know. Like I said, but then again, they are big-time Snyder fans. How's it working with when it comes to general audience people? There's a lot of questions out there when it comes to everything. You know, obviously I'm going to be a little biased because I like the guy and like his movies and everything. So, but this is cool, but you just kind of wonder, like, okay, so the LAPD movie definitely supposed to be with Netflix. Now, is that going to happen? There was this, it didn't make sense, though, when it came to the reporting saying that he wanted a $100 million budget, but Netflix wanted to only give him an $80 million budget. That doesn't make any sense because Zack is not one of those guys that needs, like, a big budget, and why the fuck would you need a $100 million budget for an LAPD movie? Just didn't quite make sense, and Zack's not one of those guys that's going to try to get a bigger budget. He will work with the budget that he is given. He knows how to do that. He definitely knows how to do that. So that's what's interesting when it comes to the LAPD movie. But then, of course, the Brawler movie is going to be funded up the wazoo. That thing's going to be definitely in the $150 to $200 million range. I just would not be surprised. You got the UFC back in that movie. He's going to be okay when it comes to that budget. So I'm just saying he's going to be busy for the next 3 or 4 years. So, hey, guess what, guys? You know, I'm not going to say it because I've been saying it. This is what we want Zack to do if you're a Zack Snyder fan. You want him to be doing this stuff. You want him to be doing his passion project in original movies. 3. He's got 3 original movies coming out. Let's let him do that, okay? Let's not bring him back to the Cape shit. Let's not do that. All right? All right. Let's not do that. Let's make it animated. The thing about the last photograph, I will say, before we get to the questions, the thing I'll say about the last photograph is the fact that this is going to be a movie with no special effects. Maybe there'll be something, I don't know. This is going to be a movie where he's going to be full-on hands-on. There's not going to be green and blue screens anywhere. Maybe there will be, I don't know, for just some background stuff. But it's not going to be one of those movies. It's not going to be one of those movies. This is where Zack can really show some of the haters and some of the disbelievers out there that he can't make like just a movie like this, even though it's like, hey, watch the, Snow, Steel, and Iron. Probably saying that title wrong. The little independent movie that he made with his iPhone. Just watch that. The dude can shoot a goddamn movie without, crazy visual effects and everything. The dude knows how to. He's a fucking photographer. But this movie is really going to show that. I'm glad that he's doing a small movie like this. He needs to do that. Because if it ends up getting critical praise and it ends up maybe even getting nominated for things, guess what? He gets up to a whole other level. He gets up to a different level. And then finally, some of these fuckers out there will start seeing what other people like James Cameron, Ridley Scott, Christopher Nolan, what they see in Zack Snyder. So, all right. So good on Zack. Cannot wait to. It's gonna be great when we actually start seeing pictures on Vero. I'm sure he's gonna be posting a bunch of pictures for it. So that'll be fun to see. All right, what do we got here when it comes to questions? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say it, and then I said it. Yeah, not doing sci-fi. No, it's gonna be good. You know, Zach's doing a passion project, getting out of his comfort zone a little bit. So, all right, questions, Eric. To be fair, Dave, filmgoers have been tricked so many times by main character in dog movies marketed heartwarming. Where spoiler alert, yeah, you're right, and that's why people are nervous about Good Boy. Nobody wants to see a dog die. It's so crazy. Even though, like, the actual, nobody wants to. It's just something about dogs. Unless you just hate dogs, nobody ever wants to watch a movie where a dog dies. So that's why people are nervous about Good Boy. And, you wouldn't be surprised if the filmmakers decided to be like, fuck it. Jordan Davis, after adding Elena to Brand New Day, are you worried about adding too many characters? I just watched a Superman movie that had a lot of characters. As long as they're supporting and it's not just a bunch of cameos, I'm good with it. If they support the story, I'm fine with it. I've read a ton of comic books and graphic novels where other characters from the universe show up. I don't have any issues with that. The fact that people have issues with that, but I think obviously mainly they just had issues with James Gunn doing it. But yeah, personally, I'm not, just because it's all about how you use them in the story. There you go. Superman was a good amount of characters, and it ended up being a great movie. Yeah, so there you go. Jordan agrees with that. Yeah, as long as it helps the story and doesn't take away from the main character. BVS also did that. Now, when it came to Justice League, that was called Justice League. But Batman vs. Superman was centralized Superman and Batman, and them beefing, and it had Wonder Woman, it had some of the other characters, but it kind of helped the story when it came to Bruce leading into, Anyways, Cooper Knox, with Jeff Snyder losing his mind on the DCU Reddit, how long it will be before somebody in the scooping industry calls him out on all his crap? Who knows? I don't know. That's a good question. I wonder if any of the other guys will do that. They probably won't. They probably won't because I wouldn't be surprised if Snyder has creeped in their DMs or whatever the fuck. The dude's just gonna kill his reputation all on his own, and maybe they'll just let him do that. That's my guess. Just let him kill his own reputation, because that's what he's doing. Darkness Under the Wind, Dave, question 1. With Lego Batman game releasing next year and being about the past and current movie iterations of the character, do you think because it's about honoring the legacy, this is a hint that whoever will play the DCU Batman is going to be announced next year? Oh yeah, I think we're going to get it next year for sure. We're definitely going to get it next year. Question 2, with Trammell Tillman being cast in a role in Spider-Man Brand New Day, but now not knowing who he will play, is a possibility debuting in the MCU Norman Osborn. Yeah, I already talked about that. Prowler, yeah, people are talking about maybe the Prowler as well. Could be the Prowler. Devin Wooter, hello Dave. Are you surprised James Gunn has 4 Superman Saga movies? No, I'm not surprised. I would be surprised if there's not more. Plan, do you think he should do more Superman movies because Superman has more villains we didn't see yet? I just rewatched Mask of Zorro. What's your favorite scene from the movie? The scene where Antonio Banderas slices off her top. Her top falls down, but her hair covers her boobs. I mean, come on. It's Catherine Zeta-Jones, for God's sakes. But yeah, the sword fight between them is pretty good. I'm scared. Lex, why do you have an erection? He probably did have an erection right there. He probably did. I don't know why Joshua G. Twitter considers yours spam. But Joshua G, hey Dave, with Greg not doing the cinematography for the Batman 2, do you think Matt Reeves will go with one of the cinematographers who did the Penguin? He could possibly do that. That would be something right there. You know, I'm sure. I think, because they're using, like, when it comes to Dune Part 3, it's a dude that did La La Land, which, that's good. So, but, yeah, there are too many moments in that film. Yes, Zach needs to go back to roots on a dead Yeah, he will. He will. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to try to do a short members-only stream, but I'll do it right now. I'll do it right after, so members, if you see that on your feed, come on in. We'll talk a little bit. But, I'm going to keep it relatively, a little short. I don't really have much, but, So if you're part of the members, look forward to that on your stream. Everybody else, hit that like, thumbs up. We got DC Fanimated that's happening around 8 o'clock, which is in about 45, 46, 47 minutes. And, like I said, I'm going to try to see Honey Don't. So look forward to my first reaction tomorrow. And then, of course, Vodka Stream on Friday, which, should be another fun one, as they always are. All right, guys. Love ya. And I'll talk to you later.